3-month rule and not to make any major decisions too fast when it comes to men and dating. Yet she brought a man home to meet her parents before they were officially dating and literally told the man to his face that he was her future husband. And this is not the first time she's done it. Like,
if you want to see someone again or whatever it is, go extra slow. There's nothing that says that you must make a decision by this time. Just take a breath.
And your whole platform is giving girls in their 20s dating advice?
The internet didn't just notice Danielle Walters' love life, it grabbed popcorn and sat in the front row. Here's a woman with over 2 million followers who made her fortune preaching one gospel: slow dating. Don't rush into anything.
Attracted to someone, you need to know that it takes months to actually get to know someone. No decisions should be made within the...
But then she burned that sacred belief to the ground.
I'm in the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom of the coffee shop. This might be my husband.
Within 1 month of meeting a mysterious Brazilian man at her gym, Danielle dragged him home to meet her family.
It's like the moment where I bring my future husband home. Yeah?
A few weeks later, she was publicly calling him her future husband.
This is like the moment where I bring my future husband home. Yeah?
She also described him as a man of God.
He is so sweet. And if I had to describe him, man of God.
Leaning heavily into religion, just like the wizard Liz did until her now ex-husband Landon cheated on her.
God, please remove people that don't have the best intentions with me from my life. God, please guide me towards my path and show me signs of what I need to do.
But she kept his identity secret, building suspense like it was a reality TV thriller.
I'm about to get picked up for a gym date.
All this time, Danielle failed to be the voice of reason for single women. She failed to deliver her usual dating tips and posted about her newfound romance.
If you want to see someone again or whatever it is, go extra slow. There's nothing that says that you must make a decision by this time. Just take a breath.
This was so unusual for her, people got genuinely scared for her, saying, "I don't know, but I have such a bad feeling about this." But that fear soon turned into anger when Danielle released a 21-part series called Where Have I Been?, all about her newfound love. It was filmed on a park bench with matching wireless microphones, as if they were shooting a Netflix documentary of their relationship. The audacity was staggering, and the internet exploded with disbelief.
It is actually the part where she says, "Oh, he's my person," because his words match his actions.
I knew this was different because your words matched your actions every time. And that was so good.
Because his words match his actions. Y'all, it's been 3 months. 3 months. That is no. We don't give somebody $10,000 worth of credit.
The insane backlash she got wouldn't be a thing if Danielle had not been posturing as the emotionally intelligent friend, dispensing relationship wisdom, setting strict boundaries, and warning against getting swept away by chemistry.
You cannot come to a conclusion on someone's character, personality, traits for months.
She even called herself the brunette Carrie Bradshaw of San Francisco, simply because she's a dating influencer who documents her dating experience, just like the protagonist of Sex and the City. Except her version had ironclad dating standards and zero tolerance for rushed relationships. So when she plunged headfirst into a wild romance that contradicted everything she'd monetized, people didn't just feel surprised, they felt manipulated. Some even felt genuinely betrayed.
Over 3 months of payments. That's just not enough time. You don't know somebody's credibility within 3 months, so...
Her audience split into enemy camps immediately. One group thinks this is real love happening publicly, raw, honest, and unfiltered. Your honey and then his so natural hi baby are what dreams are made of. I want this, so happy for you. Another camp is convinced the whole thing screams infatuation. The exact thing Danielle spent years warning against before meeting Lucas. On May 24th, you posted a video about anxious attachment, and now you found your husband on a first date? You need to go back and watch that video. But even more suspicious was the fact that throughout their 21-part series, Lucas barely got a word in, and Danielle did most of the talking.
And then lastly, what we're bringing forward is both of us adapting to being in a relationship again.
Yeah.
Which we've both had longer relationships, but neither of us.
Then people noticed something else. Danielle kept bragging about expensive dates. Luxury dinners, trips, and experiences rolled out one after another, and Lucas never paid.
So every weekend we'd have a concert, a date night, and then we'd go to church. And that was great.
That's amazing.
Suddenly, the optics changed. A dating influencer with money and a massive platform paired with a quiet man who didn't speak much, didn't pay, and may not have been who he said he was. It felt a little reminiscent of Nikita Dragun and her scandalous relationship with a fake boyfriend who almost always smiled at the camera while saying little.
We got things happening. Dragon Beauty is a thing, and we are delivering eggs to some of the closest people that made the biggest impact with me in the beauty industry, and I'm personally delivering eggs today.
This made her diehard followers, the Walnut Army, turn on her. They analyzed every post, every pause, every facial expression, and they swear the entire thing is an elaborate performance designed to drive engagement.
Part that concerns me the most, the whole Danielle Walters new boyfriend thing, and it's not, ironically, the 20-part video series that feels like a whole bunch of nothing over 3 months of dating, or the fact that they cannot go 3 days without seeing each other. Like, if you've seen my page, something to look at there. It is actually the part where she says, oh, he's my person because his words match his actions. What could you possibly know? What advice could you possibly give? You haven't faced any challenges yet. It's been 4 months.
So what actually happened here? Did love override logic? Is her newly met boyfriend the cleverest man on earth? Or could this be a perfectly executed scam to multiply followers and get sponsorship deals? For 3 full months with no trace of the content that built her entire platform, the woman who used to post dating advice like this.
Things I wish I knew about dating in my 20s as a 31-year-old. If you meet the person that you date doing something that's inauthentic to you, you guys probably aren't going to be compatible in the long run.
Or like this one.
You cannot come to a conclusion on someone's character, personality, traits for months, because people are putting their best foot forward, which is great, but that doesn't mean that that's going to last forever and that's their default. What happens when they get
stopped delivering the content her audience was used to? No more reflections for single women. No warnings about rushing into a relationship or frequent reminders to stay grounded. Nothing. She disappeared. Except Danielle didn't actually disappear from the internet like the boogeyman. She didn't go offline or vanish into thin air. She simply stopped doing that kind of content, the kind that made her a trusted voice for single women navigating modern dating.
I feel like you miss out on life. Your unwillingness to be seen is stopping you from experiencing it.
Her fans noticed and were puzzled by her claim that she disappeared when she didn't. I'm so confused. There's been no gap in content or break in her posting TikTok videos. So what does she mean by my break? Danielle wasn't gone. What she did do was document a brand new romance. She was secretly dating a mysterious Brazilian man that she had never mentioned by name. And she kept updating her viewers about the progress of her dating experience right from the time she claimed the mystery man had asked her out on a first date.
I'm about to go out with Brazilian man on a first date. I'm trying to tell myself that I'm excited, but I'm nervous. I'm putting it in my fridge. I've already nervous pooped twice.
From the get-go, some of her perceptive fans thought something was off, like this lady who said, "Why so nervous, girlie? I've never seen you nervous before a first date." And then came something really crazy that she did. Right in the middle of her first date, Danielle excused herself to go to the bathroom. This time not because of her nerves, not because of discomfort, but to record her immediate impressions of the man she was sitting across from. In a toilet, mid-date, phone out, recording.
I'm in the bathroom of the coffee shop. This might be my husband.
For many viewers, this was the first red flag they couldn't ignore. But even after the first date ended, Danielle made another video that immediately made her viewers suspicious. And this time it's not even as much about Danielle, but more about her mystery date.
He is so sweet. And if I had to describe him, man of God. Man of God.
Hearing Danielle describe him as a man of God, her fans abandoned the suspicion that Danielle may be manufacturing all these for content.
I'm recording live from the second bathroom. This date is going so well. It's going so well.
That there may be something darker underneath the surface, and that the 32-year-old may have been fooled into an insincere relationship.
There was something always off. And now that she's with that Lucas guy who... Okay, it's getting worse.
And you can tell by the barrage of comments that flooded her comment section like these saying, anytime I hear man of God, I think, check his phone. I'm Brazilian. Be careful, girl. Seriously. No guy, and I mean no guy, is more nicer than the one who has not slept with you yet. In fact, the whole religious gimmick made some people think that they might both be getting funded by a religious group. Another influencer came out today and said this content is all sponsored by their megachurch and is all fiction. Someone else came up with an even wilder theory, saying, my theory, she's in religious cult, and the leader told her that the guy was her husband before the first date. But instead of slowing down, instead of applying the very principles she once preached,
if you want to see someone again or whatever it is, go extra slow. There's nothing that says that you must make a decision by this time. Just take a breath, you are the prize, and just sit in what it feels like.
She ignored the concerns. She brushed past the questions. She didn't pause to address the unease her own followers were expressing. Moreover, she doubled down and shared the second date. While on the other hand, her boyfriend did nothing like Danielle. He simply posted thirst trap videos disguised as fitness motivation on his social media accounts. This was the beginning of the breaking point for many of her followers. Some, like this user, expressed their disapproval, saying, I feel like this is so love-bomby. Ick. It's been 5 dates. Another person even suspected that the mystery man might be fictional, so she asked a cheeky question, saying, when can we meet him, LOL? And many believe he's not even real, saying, never, because he's not real. In fact, when the mystery boyfriend asked Danielle to be his girlfriend, she made such a big deal out of it that the internet got mad. First of all is the post she made of herself in a red dress while carrying a flower. Then she attached a lengthy caption to it, celebrating merely being a girlfriend. These last couple of weeks have really challenged me in how open I am online. I share my life not just to entertain or because now it's my job, but for the purpose of sharing the joy and gift that life is. People were enraged and basically thought the whole charade of posing in front of camera to celebrate being someone's girlfriend, particularly someone she just met, was silly. Her fans were disgusted with her cringe pick-me attitude, and they had a lot to say about it.
I guess I'm happy she's found love in this Brazilian man, but the amount of times where she's just like, I feel so safe and held, drives me nuts.
But no one hated her more than the Reddit community that exploded to over 6,000 members dedicated to dissecting every single thing they could about her suspicious relationship. And the numbers proved they weren't alone. The subreddit grew 312.5% in just 30 days, racking up 3.3 million views. That's not normal Reddit growth, that's a movement. What were they looking for? Proof that the entire relationship was staged. But let's not forget that at this point, Danielle still had not revealed her date's face. So some people like this lady couldn't bring themselves to believe Danielle would do such a thing. She said, I won't believe it until I see the man. Then, as if to ward off any doubts, she posted the cringe moment of when she recorded herself being asked to be Lucas's girlfriend.
Okay. Yeah, I have no idea what this is.
I know.
It's heavy.
It's hard, right?
It's so good.
And you can probably tell people got cringed out, like this user called her out saying, you act like he's proposing. In fact, someone who was clearly enraged by the whole thing cheekily implied that she wasn't as smart as Carrie Bradshaw, whom she branded herself after, saying, Carrie Bradshaw was never this dumb. But like this person who said, why does she think we need this big production? Most people were really at a loss as to why she'd make a big deal out of the whole thing. That question would later seem prophetic, because even though her viewers already felt really betrayed, Danielle would do something that would shatter whatever trust remained. She released a 21-part video series. Instead of addressing her viewers' concerns with a single reflective explanation, Danielle launched a long narrative in detail form, 21 separate videos.
Ending this, I just want to say to the single girl out there that's been watching and waiting for their person, our love story is for you.
21 episodes, not posts, not stories, full episodes with professional microphones, perfect lighting, and carefully planned camera angles. About a 3-month relationship with a guy she met at the gym.
I'm about to get picked up for a gym date. And I'm just, oh my gosh, he's here. I'm just so excited.
Most Netflix documentaries don't even get 21 episodes. Murder mystery documentaries like The Tylenol Murders got wrapped up in less time. But Danielle decided her barely started romance deserved more screen time than Breaking Bad's final season. The audacity is actually impressive.
Now is what we've been waiting for, and I can't just keep this to myself.
But just like another influencer, Wizard Liz, who schooled women on how not to be deceived by men and later got cheated on, Danielle's reality contradicts what she used to teach. She came out with a preliminary episode, which she called Where Have I Been? And for the first time, she revealed the face of the mystery date. But something about this preliminary episode felt manipulative, even right from the title, Where Have I Been? Nothing illustrates this manipulation better than her caption, which says, over the next couple of weeks, I'll be taking you through the last few months since I've been absent from the internet. I want to. As you already know, she was posting the whole time. She just stopped giving dating advice while dating Lucas. But she marketed her return like she'd been kidnapped and finally escaped. In fact, a few people noticed and questioned why she would make such bald-faced lies. Like this commenter who called her out outrightly. Have you been gone from the internet? Girl, we see you all the time, but always selling something. Or this other person who said the same. I'm so confused. There's been no gap in content or break in her posting TikTok videos, so what does she mean by my break? But since it's typical of Danielle to ignore valid questions even if her integrity depends on answering, she said nothing at all, leaving her viewers in the dark.
I have been, first of all, a long-time follower of Danielle Walters for probably like 2 years, and I just want to talk about this.
But just as people were questioning why she lied about disappearing, Danielle shifted the focus entirely by introducing the very thing she disappeared for, Lucas, her boyfriend, leading to backlash from the Walnut Army.
Through my dating content, but I wasn't ready to share his identity. Neither of us were.
Yeah. When Danielle went public with Lucas, her followers really hated her for it. In fact, Danielle had to make a quick reference to the hate she received, although she didn't address the cause for concern.
So that was 3 months ago. And so now we have to tell him what happened next.
Okay.
By this time, you had just asked me to be your girlfriend. We're on cloud 9. Everything's great. But we're both getting absolutely torn apart by the internet.
Oh.
Most members of the Walnut Army and her critics across other platforms became convinced that Danielle and Lucas's whirlwind romance was manufactured content, that every candid moment was scripted, that the whole thing was a performance designed to boost engagement and grow her platform.
3-month rule, and not to make any major decisions too fast when it comes to men and dating. Yet she brought a man home to meet her parents before they were officially dating and literally told the man to his face that he was her future husband. And this is not the first time she's done it.
Although they sometimes express it humorously, saying stuff like, I'm convinced this is an AI-generated couple and she's not a real person. She wasn't just wrong, she was fake. A fraud who gave advice she didn't believe in. A content creator who prioritized being viral over being authentic.
And your whole platform is giving girls in their 20s dating advice? Be for real.
But that hatred was just the beginning, because their 21-part series really rubbed people the wrong way. Every episode featured them sitting on the same park bench with matching wireless microphones like they were hosting a podcast about their own lives. The production quality was so polished it felt sterile, cold, calculated, and people like Bellows pointed this out immediately, saying, I truly believe all influencers are narcissists. Like, why share so much of your personal life for strangers? To me, this is baffling. I understand people, but nothing, absolutely nothing would prepare you for her bizarre behavior in those 21 episodes that would follow the preliminary one. Which brings us to the first 5 episodes, which we might as well categorize as the excuse marathon, because that was all Danielle did, giving excuses.
Hi, I'm a hero. Hi.
I feel like I just need to say this. It does not matter if they don't see the vision. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you see the vision and you keep doing what you need to do in order to make that vision happen.
First of all, she doubled down on the disappearing part as if she had not been posting every single thing during the 3 months of dating.
I disappeared because I finally found the thing that I've been praying for years, and I was scared the internet would ruin it before it had a chance to grow.
Again, that pissed off her viewers. One person called her out on it, saying it was all a big strategy, and someone also responded that she was simply into it for money. Right, like not hating on making content, get that bag, but don't pretend all of it isn't just one big strategy. Another person didn't hesitate to mock her statement about her disappearing, saying, sitting down like she's been gone for 3 years. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Because Danielle knew exactly what people would say. She'd spent years telling women not to rush into relationships, not to make decisions in the first few months, not to trust their feelings too early. So she got ahead of the criticism. She acknowledged her previous advice about waiting 3 months before becoming official. Then she said their situation was different, special, unique. The rules didn't apply to them because their connection was just that deep.
Okay, and I just want to address, in the past, I've said you shouldn't agree to getting into a relationship before the 3-month mark so that behavior can be proven. And I'm not going back on that in most cases. I still think that's reasonable.
I agree.
Right, but this is not most cases. And I know that some people are going to have their own opinions about that, but, you know, this is just the way that our story played out. We both knew.
She kept repeating that different paces work for different people, that even though her general advice still stood for most cases, their case was exceptional. They were the exception to every rule she'd ever created.
Certainty of, like, what we want.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So do I recommend our pace for everyone? Absolutely not. But this was just our pace.
This is a classic manipulation tactic. Set rules for everyone else, then declare yourself exempt when those rules become inconvenient. It's the relationship equivalent of a politician caught breaking the laws they wrote. The nerve of it is almost admirable. She built an empire telling women to be cautious, then demanded applause for being reckless.
Hi, I am not an expert. I am not a politician. I should not be your source of information.
But besides all her silly rationalizations, something else stood out throughout these episodes. Danielle did almost all the talking. Lucas would get maybe a few seconds to speak before she'd jump back in with more justifications, more reasons why everyone should be happy for them, and more explanations of what they felt so far in their first few weeks of dating.
One thing that you did really early on that made me go, okay, yes, this is my husband. On our first date, called what I do on social media, and you said that I give people hope and I spread joy and love. And I never, in my wildest dreams, thought I'd ever hear a man say that. Like never. But God really delivers big. And from then on, you went on consistently showing me how much you respect what I do and think that I'm incredible for walking in purpose. Imagine a man saying that about sharing every detail of my life. That literally could have only been God. I had hoped for a man who respected or understood what I did. I never imagined the way that you care so deeply about my purpose and the way that God wants to use me.
You can see how she controls Lucas with her direction. The way Danielle corrects him, redirects him, always lifting the microphone, it's uncomfy. Interestingly, Danielle talking about him being a man of God is not that different from the religious strategy of the wizard Liz, another dating influencer who finally broke up with Landon, her now ex-husband.
Ask to be guided, ask for signs, ask for help from God. I promise you this works. This literally worked.
But besides the religious element, Danielle seems controlling throughout. Lucas's English isn't perfect, which is completely understandable, but even accounting for the language barrier, he barely got space to express himself. But something that would arouse even more controversy was when Danielle said she knew Lucas was her future husband because his words matched his actions every single time. And Lucas's response to it was just crazy.
I knew this was different because your words matched your actions every time. And that was so good. Yeah.
That didn't escape the notice of keen observers like this person who said, "It's not easy," or this other person who repeated the horrible statement from Lucas just so people who didn't catch it would notice it too. Because words matched his actions, to which you replied, "It was hard, but yeah." Let's not forget that part. But even besides their words, their body language didn't seem particularly convincing to men either. So an expert body language analyst decided to weigh in on the matter.
You know that girl, Danielle Walters? She goes on a bunch of dates, and I guess she's dating somebody now. And I've seen a lot of people post really hateful responses. I guess she'd be a 21-part series about her new boyfriend. And everyone is like, it's so crazy, look at their body language, blah, 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 blah.
And her observation was met with instant approval by people who also saw through the whole thing. The micro expressions are priceless. It's like a hostage situation. Another person couldn't help but notice another detail that even the expert analyst had omitted from her video, saying, sitting on that bench for 22 parts or whatever, it was with their legs crossed away from each other. This very sharp observation would send people speculating about all kinds of things. To some people, for instance, the whole 21-part series must be a paid gig for the guy. One person sums up her scheme very shortly, saying, he's been hired. As the series progressed, more concerning details emerged. Details that Danielle presented as sweet romantic gestures, but that actually revealed some troubling dynamics. She talked proudly about their 3-day rule. According to her, they cannot go more than 3 days without seeing each other. Somehow this was meant to show that they were deeply connected and in love.
Like this all the time.
Yeah. That was when we made our rule about no longer than 3 days apart.
Yeah, Which we've been doing very well.
But that's not romance, that's codependency. That's an anxious attachment style being rebranded as passionate love. Healthy relationships allow space. They allow independence. They allow both people to maintain their own lives, hobbies, friendships, and routines. A 3-day maximum separation after only a few months of dating isn't sweet, it's suffocating.
It's been 5 years single, and now I'm in a relationship, and I'm just having to buy flowers to my princess. And one of the greatest reward I have, it's her femininity. And flowers are the seed for this to just blossom. So brothers, we give flowers because we are intelligent. We are cultivating her femininity, and I will show you what I'm gonna choose now. A good relationship doesn't come from out of the blue. You need to cultivate that. Have a good day.
And she knew this at least before she met the Brazilian guy.
Things I wish I knew in my 20s about dating from a 31-year-old. You need to get a handle on, or at least be aware of, your anxious attachment and limit tendencies.
Then came the surfing comment. Danielle casually mentioned that Lucas could no longer just pick up his surfboard and go surfing whenever he wanted. She framed this as a natural sacrifice he was making for their relationship.
I'm totally able to sacrifice, small sacrifices, big sacrifices.
Just, things like not picking up and going surfing whenever you want to anymore is and not because I'm making
our relationship, but our relationship, it's my priority, our priority.
That raises the question, why can't a grown man go surfing when he wants to? What kind of relationship requires someone to give up their hobbies and passions after 2 months of dating? Could this be Danielle being more selfish, as she said?
I'm gonna need you to be more selfish. Being too empathetic makes you a doormat. You heard me right. You need to be more selfish.
This is exactly the kind of relationship dynamic that leads to explosive breakups or years of quiet misery. No wonder comments about their potential breakup keep surfacing from viewers. Imagine gushing over a 3-month relationship. This breakup is going to be wild AF. By episode 12, Danielle dropped a bomb that nobody saw coming. She casually mentioned getting mom and dad photos done,
which was really sweet. And we got what I call mom and dad photos, which are the photos that are so classic and things that you look at and you're like, I'm going to show my kids me and their father 15 years from now.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of those.
Yeah.
If you're wondering what does that even mean, well, basically these are professional pictures taken specifically to show their future kids. Pictures that scream, look how young and in love your parents were. The problem in the case of Danielle and Lucas is that they've only been dating for maybe 8 weeks. Think about that. They're creating photo albums for kids who don't exist yet, planning keepsakes for a marriage that hasn't happened, building memories for a future that's completely made up in their heads.
Oh my God. I'm hating this.
Mom and dad photos? My body physically recoiled. The interesting thing is that Lucas barely got a word out throughout this particular episode. It was so frustrating that her viewers had to comment on this. Dude, let the man talk. Danielle kept saying their relationship was destined, that God personally matched them up, that their shared faith proved they were soulmates, not two people making terrible decisions.
Yeah.
We had such vulnerability and deep conversations early on about very important things, primarily our faith, the way we see our faith, and how faith and purpose tie together.
Yes.
Besides that, it seems Danielle may have basically paid Lucas to date her. Throughout the show, Danielle kept bragging about expensive dates.
Let's go to Disneyland again.
Well, we don't mess around at Disneyland. We get Lightning Lane, we're doing all day, and then we're going back at night.
But she funded the whole thing herself. She bought Disney tickets for both of them. She grabbed 6 concert tickets so they could see shows together.
The concert era. So one night, I don't know what happened, but I late at night went on Ticketmaster and bought like 6 concert tickets. And I just told you, hey, like every Friday we have a concert. So every weekend we'd have a concert, a date night, and then we'd go to church. And that was...
Normal guys pay for dates, especially early on. But Lucas, he just showed up while Danielle opened her wallet again and again. And Danielle was basically his sponsor. And he played along because why wouldn't he? Free trips, free entertainment, free everything. And people even think that her boyfriend might be broke. How broke is he that you had to buy all the concert tickets? Other people think Danielle might be funding the entire relationship as part of her scam. Genuinely wonder if she's funding the relationship. She even planned the over-the-top month-anniversary celebrations.
So every month on our month-anniversary, some people are going to be so upset about this, but every month on our month-anniversary, Lucas plans something for us.
Yes, month-anniversaries. They threw parties every single month like it was some massive achievement. That also doesn't escape the notice of her viewers. Girl, what do you mean month-anniversary? It's been 3 months. Everything just felt so performative. For instance, while she was posting the 21-part series, she didn't hesitate to post cringe content of the two of them doing lovey-dovey stuff. If you pay attention to what she wrote, she said, "Ladies, there will be a man who will dance with you in the kitchen on a daily basis with no prompting. It's very important that you wait for that man." Danielle is insinuating that Lucas grabbed her for a dance without prompting, but that just isn't believable because if that were the case, she wouldn't have been recording at the same time. That irony wasn't lost on the viewers, and they all commented to that effect saying, "Genuine question. How can this be impromptu if there is a camera set up to record it?" Danielle ended this series by giving terrible advice to desperate women. She faced the camera directly, addressing single women everywhere. And her message, don't give up hope. Your perfect person is out there. She found love at 32, so will you too.
I started posting dating content as you years ago, and I never want to forget you. I want to encourage you that your person is on the way, and I want our story to give you hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. I met my person at 32. Maybe yours is sooner, maybe yours is later, but I do know it will happen for you.
She actually held up her train wreck relationship as something to aspire to, like her story was proof that fairy tales exist. As her rushed, problematic romance was evident that patience gets rewarded. This might be the most harmful part of the entire series because impressionable young women are watching and absorbing completely wrong lessons. They might think real love means losing yourself in someone after 8 weeks. They might believe giving up their hobbies shows romantic commitment. They might accept financial imbalance as normal when the connection feels right. So people who knew better made sure to counter Danielle. One person said, to the single girls, please don't listen to someone who's made a 21-part doc-series about becoming someone's girlfriend. Perhaps the funniest thing about this is that this single comment alone had over 42,000 likes, while her video had only 15,000 reactions. Another person also said, to the single girl out there, stay single, boo. Single is not a disease or disability. If you notice, this comment also had nearly twice the number of likes that the video got. But even after the whole thing, people couldn't get past the narcissism of recording one's love story for random strangers to know. Something interesting to note is that her views kept dwindling as the series progressed. In episode 1, for instance, she had nearly 90,000 likes. But by episode 20, only a handful of people reacted to it. Danielle was clearly trying to steal the reality TV style of Ryan Trahan, but this approach annoyed many people and her numbers started to dwindle. Some sharp observers noticed, saying, "Anyone else notice the numbers dwindling? Declining engagement equals decreased interest." Others were very direct about how the whole thing was long-winded, and they already got the message, which wasn't solicited in the first place. Man, these series are boring. We got the gist after 2 episodes. But perhaps the most interesting thing about this whole issue is that many people noticed that although there was something off about Lucas, no one could really say they had known much about him. Yes, even after the 21-part serialized videos. Anyone notice how they say nothing about his person? His career, his beliefs, his values? It's almost as if his true self is problematic. And that is indeed a very sharp observation. Not much is known about Lucas beside the fact that he's Brazilian and he seems to be a gym rat. And this brings us to the next part, which we'll call, So Who Exactly Is Lucas? Lucas Alcantara appeared in Danielle Walters' life like a character written specifically for her content calendar. He's Brazilian, former engineer turned personal trainer, life coach, body transformation specialist. Even a quick look at his Instagram profiles reveals this. Lucas is also one of those gym guys giving ChatGPT-sounding motivational advice while stripping shirtless to show off their muscles. As you can see here, he checked every box for the perfect influencer boyfriend storyline, almost too perfectly. When Danielle first mentioned him, she didn't use his name. She only revealed a little about him, allowing her audience to want to know more, a classic engagement tactic which she used from the very first moment she shared how she met him.
Texted me and asked me to go to coffee. The backstory of this is yesterday I saw him at the gym and I made eyes and he made eyes at me and he like gave me a full-on smile and then I like smiled back at him. It was like a full magnetic moment of like 5 to 7 seconds of that, like unbroken smiling eye contact. Then I see him again at the gym today and I looked at him again and I gave him the signal, like I dropped the handkerchief and he walked right over to me.
Unfortunately for Danielle, she gave out enough details that her over 2 million followers could find him in about 15 minutes.
Hold me close and hold me fast. This magic spell you cast.
An avid Redditor who's also part of the Walnut Army did her findings and discovered that Lucas apparently isn't even a successful gym instructor yet. He was only pretending to be one. Apparently her boyfriend is a clout chaser and has been trying to make it as a fitness influencer for a while, so the relationship seems extremely transactional for both of them. Interestingly, some people claim he does a more humbling job than what he posts online. One commenter revealed this under the comments section of one of his posts. "You were my Instacart driver." Within weeks, she brought him home to meet her family. Before most people even reveal a new relationship publicly, Lucas was sitting at Danielle's family dinner table. Then came the Instagram documentary series where she called him her forever person, her honey, her future husband. Not boyfriend, not her partner, but her future husband. After 2 months.
This is like the moment where I bring my future husband home. Yeah?
Although there is evidence of actual clients, there aren't many of them. And Lucas doesn't seem to have structured programs or services, just vague inspirational content that could apply to literally anyone. This seems like someone trying to build a social media following by looking inspirational. And he seems to have found the perfect shortcut, a woman with 2 million followers who calls her platform her God-given purpose. People suspect the whole thing might be a scam and they question him, but like the oversized ego that is Danielle, his so-called future wife, he doesn't address those genuine concerns. A commenter said, "I hope you are not using Danielle to gain followers. He's already gained almost 2,000 new ones in 2 days." This can even be seen in the number of reactions he now gets on his social media posts. A post of him with Danielle doing their lovey-dovey cringe stuff got over 7,000 likes. But before Danielle came into his life, it was way lower than that, mostly in the hundreds. Since the observations of him using Danielle to increase followers and view counts are supported by evidence, then this person is right to conclude that.
Now, the red flag, I think, are the gym dates that they have, considering he's a trainer. And it's obvious he's trying to build a platform or a brand. And the other red flag is he's okay with her calling him her future husband, but he won't appear on camera with her. People already know who he is, so I don't know what the hesitation would be, other than he doesn't want any video evidence.
But all those concerns and questions do not bother him. He still keeps mute. Some suspect he's just into it to get U.S. citizenship. He's giving "I need a passport." Others are even more blunt about it, saying, "Don't worry, Danielle, he won't leave for now because he needs that green card." The The Instagram aesthetic shows expensive gym equipment, beach sunsets, and motivational warrior energy, but many people aren't falling for his antics. Is he qualified enough to be a personal trainer? Sometimes he even posts videos of himself pretending to be reading a book he's not really concentrating on. But in reality, he's simply a man working different jobs to survive in one of America's most expensive cities. Meanwhile, let's not forget his girlfriend is buying Disney tickets, concert tickets for 6 different shows, planning elaborate month-anniversary celebrations, and funding their entire social life. There's a darker aspect of Lucas that Danielle even seems to be protecting. A fan of Danielle made a shocking discovery that Lucas is basically a creep, one of those who make women uncomfortable in the gym, and he's even been listed as a red flag in many videos. This man has been posted from before you went public with him on a few of the SF red flag dating pages for girls here. Apparently, the commenter wouldn't have disgraced Lucas and Danielle by sharing that detail in public, but the person had no choice because Danielle's private message was turned off. But you wouldn't believe that Danielle actually deleted that comment without wasting time. A page dedicated to exposing them, Wally the Walnut, was the first to notice that and made a post mocking how Danielle seems to be protecting a creep. She deleted this quick. Danielle's man of God is that creepy guy at the gym. The most controversial thing Lucas has done so far is his weird interaction with an old man who's in terrible health. Lucas did the unthinkable by recording him for views.
What are you laughing, my friend? You gave me 20. You're gonna give me 20 again. 1. Come on. Yes, the fat guy. 5, 6. Don't let me. Okay? In my head.
Naturally, people were outraged and questioned him, saying things like, "Does this elderly patient understand he's being videoed? Seems kind of personal moment using this gentleman for views." But again, Lucas did what Danielle would do by ignoring their concerns. Something else people find fishy about this boyfriend of Danielle's is that, at least according to them, he doesn't behave like a normal heterosexual male. This has attracted a lot of comments like this one. Something's off about this man. He's very feminine. The body language, the way he sits, speaks, I can't be the only one seeing it. And even ones meant to mock their relationship like this one.
Guys, like, they're just doing it lesbian style. She's like a religious girl, from what I understand. And that's like a common pacing of a highly religious or a highly lesbian relationship.
Not just take it slow, not just be careful, but a hardcore, almost militant approach to dating that treated speed as the enemy. She didn't just suggest restraint, she demanded it. This was the dating philosophy that made her famous. When she's not saying stuff like that, which isn't even bad advice, even though her approach is off, she is saying totally outlandish word salad stuff.
In order to be courted and pursued forever, even after we get into the relationship, even after we are married, there needs to be pursuit available. What does that mean? It's not a game, but there needs to be some level of opportunity to have a pursuit.
And she talked about it constantly. She had an entire podcast episode dedicated to avoiding limerence. She made it sound like a disease, something dangerous that women needed to protect themselves from.
All you anxious attached girlies, I'm about to blow your mind.
Welcome to What I Learned in Therapy, where I teach you what I learned in therapy so you can too.
There's something called limerence, which is closely tied to anxious attachment, but no one's talking about it. And in layman's terms, limerence is like an unhealthy obsession or infatuation with someone without the facts, without knowing them.
Her advice was straightforward. She told women to treat dating like a research project. Gather data, watch his actions over weeks and months. Don't commit until you have proof he's worth it. Don't give your heart away early. Don't assume he's the one just because he makes you feel good.
You cannot come to a conclusion on someone's character, personality, traits for months, because people are putting their best foot forward, which is great, but that doesn't mean that that's going to last forever and that's their default. What happens when they get...
She positioned herself as the anti-impulse voice in modern dating, the woman who wouldn't get swept away, the one who stayed logical when everyone else was getting emotional. And her audience ate it up.
30 of getting to the gym consistently and coincidentally the first day of my period.
But then she met someone, and that someone is Lucas, whom you already know. Within weeks, she was publicly committed. The careful rules she drilled into thousands of followers were instantly discarded, and all her sermons about limerence were thrown into the dustbin. She did exactly what she told thousands of women not to do, and she never really explained why the rules didn't apply to her and only gave silly excuses like this.
Certainty of, like, what we want.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So do I recommend our pace for everyone? Absolutely not. But this was just our pace. So that's what happened. I knew this was different because your words matched your actions every time. And that was so good.
Yeah.
That's what made people angry. Not that she fell in love, but that she broke every single principle she'd built her platform on and acted like it was fine. And when her followers called her out for it, she brushed off the whole thing. Here's the thing most people don't realize. Danielle didn't start as a dating expert. She started as a fashion influencer. Before the relationship advice, she was posting get ready with me videos.
Okay, I have like an hour to get ready. Want to do like a get ready with me? The vibe is dinner with my friend.
She also did outfit inspiration, styling tips, and other stuff like that.
Guys, I can't believe this is happening, but Baby Boo sent me their new collection. And I have a naughty or nice Christmas party tonight, and I need your help because I think I'm gonna wear something in here. Let's open it together. We're stoked.
Okay, I got a package. I am working on recovering my skin, so just...
She built her following by selling an image of herself as the cool girl with good taste, the put-together woman who knew how to dress and how to live. Her brand was inspirational in nature, not advice.
I have finally finished this closet. So now it's time to clean it out.
Then, little by little, she started integrating dating content into her fashion and get ready with me videos.
Rumors are true. I am, in fact, going on another date.
Whew. So let's get ready. Hair, serum, concealer, the tiniest bit of nose contour on the cheeks.
The entire thing was deliberately layered on top of her lifestyle videos. She didn't wake up one day and just decide to help women with relationships. She saw an opportunity to expand her platform, and she took it and focused mainly on her dating life and also dished out dating tips. And now that she's in a relationship, the niche has shifted again. The advice has changed. The philosophy has softened because the image she's selling has changed. She's not the slow, intentional dater anymore. She's the girl who found love and wants everyone to watch, even if it's in 21 parts. In the end, Danielle has trapped herself in a prison of her own making. Thousands watch her every move, not as supporters, but as investigators waiting for the next slip-up. And any little bit of reputation she has will be damaged even further if she continues her goofy love attachment.